Christy Lynn, and her favorite thing to do is to travel and take photographs. So I'll just go ahead and let her take over.
Going first is the worst. Going first is the worst. Hi, beautiful humans. Thank you for coming. I'm Christy Lynn. That's it. That's my story. I guess I'll just jump right into it. So there is proof out there that holding on to emotional trauma and trapped emotional stuff can actually cause physical illness. And 2 years ago, I got really, really sick and had to take a lot of time off work and stuff. And I decided to take a holistic approach to my healing rather than just go to a regular MD and just get doped up on medication. So it took me about a year working with a holistic doctor to start feeling better. And after that year, I realized that I really needed to kind of start clearing out some old emotional boxes from my soul if I really wanted to be my best self. So in my Googling of natural remedies and healing, I came across ayahuasca. And you guys are probably like, ayahuasca? And to put it in layman's terms, ayahuasca is an indigenous brew from the Amazon forest that's 2 different vines that they boil down into like a black sludge. And it's a ceremony that you hold with a shaman. And it's been around for thousands of years. People have been practicing it for thousands of years. It's known to take you to the spirit world. In modern terms, it's a psychedelic, but it has scientific proof to have helped people with PTSD, anxiety, depression, grief, all kinds of different disorders. And to put it very clearly, ayahuasca is not a party drug. It is not something you're like, hey, let's do ayahuasca. Like, no, like it takes like weeks of preparation. It's dieting. It's spiritual adventures. It's fasting from sex, fasting from social media, fasting from our news media, staying away from people who are not good for you, spending time in nature, meditating. It takes a lot of preparation up until you get into a shamanic ceremony. So I got a little aggressive with my healing. Last December was my first ayahuasca ceremony. I've done 4 in a year. My first ceremony, I didn't know what to expect. I was very afraid. I walked into the room and the shaman had an entire altar set up with a bunch of musical instruments, and it was a very small group of people that night. And I drank my first cup, and about an hour later, I felt a little different, but I could still tell that I was very much in my body. So he offered me a little bit more, and I took a second cup, and there I went into the ether. And there were so many different moments in that ceremony. He started playing like an Indian flute, and I had never heard one played live before, and tears it was like my brain opened up, tears just started streaming down my face. And it wasn't crying of sadness, it was a release of the amount of beauty that I was experiencing. I could not physically express it other than just releasing it. I had moments where I felt like I was running through the jungle. I had moments of fear, moments of anxiety, moments of purging into a bucket. And in the end, after that ceremony was over, I really kind of took what I went through, and I realized that I learned how to let go. I learned how to release emotion and process it, where I had been holding on to pain and trauma for so long that I didn't know how to let it go. All I knew how to do was hold on to it because it was the only thing I'd ever known. Ceremony number 2. Ceremony number 2 completely incapacitated me. It was like this for like 4 hours. And I was in the room with like 16 other people, and all I could hear is like a woman screaming like demons are coming out of her, and another girl is speaking in tongues. And I'm lost in my hair because I can't find my way out of it. And the guy next to me is like, help, 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 help. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I couldn't breathe. But I came out of that ceremony learning not to take the little things for granted. And I had just been very physically sick, so this spoke very true to me. When we wake up in the morning and we open our eyes, we expect to see. When we put our feet on the ground, we expect to stand up and walk. And this beautiful hair, I just throw up in a bun all the time, and all I wanted to do was share it with everybody because it was so silky smooth. And I never felt anything like that before. And I know every guy in here that's balding is like, don't ever take your hair for advantage. Don't. It's a beautiful thing. It's part of who you are as a human. And it was just these small nuances, but that are actually really big deals that I learned just to cherish. Ceremony number 3. I was finally ready to face my mommy issues. I grew up with a really controlling, narcissistic, verbally abusive mother. And it's affected my dating relationships, it's affected my relationship with myself, it's affected a lot of parts of my life. And in my years of defense, you learn to lie to yourself, put shields up, things for protection. Ayahuasca completely was like, nah, bitch! This is what's going on! And it was like glass broke in my face and shattered at my feet. And I had all these realizations come to me at once. And I sobbed and purged and sobbed and purged, and I purged and cried. When I was crying so much, I felt like I was curled in a ball and that I was actually a sound wave just pulsating this energy out of me because I'd had it for so long. And I was crying so hard that a girl had to come and actually pull me away from the group. And she held me and she said that it was okay and that I was a warrior. And that I realized in that moment too that most of the conflict in my life has been me against me. And I learned why I choose the partners that I choose, and I learned why I talk to myself the way that I do. So after that ceremony, I took an 8-month break. After that ceremony, I wrote about 6 pages, 7 pages right after, and filled up some stuff in my journal, and I brought it to my therapist, and I was like, yo, why haven't we talked about this? I've been seeing you for 3 years. Like, how come this has never come up? Mommy issues, hello, you're fired. I didn't fire my therapist. I love my therapist. But it was good that we were able to have these things down on paper, and now I'm ready to start working through them. And I have started working through them over the last year. So 8 months later, just a few weeks ago, ceremony number 4. Ceremony number 4, I thought I was gonna go in and dealing with some past lovers issues. I was having dreams leading up to that point. And when I got to the ceremony space, there was a lot of people there who knew each other, a lot of creative people, and the energy in the room was just amazing. And my boyfriend came with me, and I said, this ceremony's gonna be really good. I can just feel it, like the energy just feels amazing. And we all sat in the hoop, we all drank the juice, and there was a lot of talk about being able to face our dark corners and still love ourselves and make it through this ceremony together. And the amount of music that was played, the amount of singing, the amount of laughter, there was a good 7-8 minutes of giggles and cackles and strangest laughs you've ever heard that just made you laugh even more. And in that ceremony, I was able to sing, I was able to play music, I was able to move around and actually give to the group, whereas before I'd always just been curled up in a ball like, oh God, Mother Ayahuasca, please fix me. This time I was able to help people within the group. And I felt stronger than I felt in like 4 years maybe. And I realized that I was stepping back into my power. That ceremony was about my power. And in the time that I've been doing these journeys, I could say that My relationship with food has completely changed. My relationship with my mother has much stronger boundaries. My romantic partners, I'm choosing differently. I'm no longer a victim of trauma. I embrace my trauma and I share it in places like this to help inspire others and to teach others and to let them know that they're not alone and to empathize. It has shattered my lens of ego, and it has helped me not see through my inner child eyes. I see through my adult eyes now. And that transformation in a year is amazing. And what I want to leave you with here is that it's that if you're in a dark place and what you've been doing isn't working, be open to trying something new. I'm not saying ayahuasca's everyone's, end all be all and that this is what you should try, but be open to trying other things rather than just going and popping pills and masking your symptoms with prescription medication. Actually get to the root of the problem and care for yourself, and it will pay off. Because if you're doing the same thing that you've always been doing, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It'll pay off, I promise. That's it.